Recording button. Double tap to activate.
Hi, do you like to be creative? Did you used to like to be creative, but you've given it up due to, bodily changes? Yeah, I know. You thought that was over after puberty. Nope. As we get older, our bodies change, and sometimes we can no longer do the things that we once could do. Sometimes we can no longer participate in the activities and creative outlets that we used to love, that used to bring us joy and happiness and purpose in life. Well, maybe you're looking for new ways to be creative. If we should all be so lucky and live to be so old, we'll likely experience some type of disability or health-related condition that might change our abilities in our bodies to function. Maybe if we live long enough, we'll experience hearing issues and hearing deficits, visual issues. Maybe we develop arthritis and have mobility issues, heart conditions, things that keep us from once doing and being as active as we once were. When people lose their hobbies and their sources of joy, they can find themselves feeling depressed, feeling purposeless, like loss of meaning in life. So, if maybe that's something you're looking for, then you come to the right place. If you're looking to talk about creativity, new ways to be creative as you're getting older, maybe finding ways to get back into finding a creative outlet and just adapting to life as we get older, then let me introduce myself. My name's May, and I love yarn. I love all things yarn. I have mohair black yarn here with sequins. I have faux fur pink yarn. I have alpaca ombre yarn. I have more ombre yarn. And I even found velour yarn. This is luscious and squishy. I am a child of the 80s and 90s. I love velour. I still have my velour dresses from the 90s. I love all things yarn. I love to knit and crochet, and I try to do it every day. I like to surround myself with my works that I've made. I sometimes design my own projects. This is a blue cardi that I designed myself. It's blue bouchael with some blue ribbing and blue wool sleeves. Sometimes I do knit other people's patterns. This is a white sparkly cardi. I did not design this, but I still knit it and love it. Sometimes you gotta knit yourself a crown because you live at the creative castle, and sometimes you have to design yourself your own crochet beanie. I designed this crochet beanie. I designed this crown. Maybe I'll teach you how to make those for yourself if I can remember how to make them. I spend so much time with yarn. Sometimes I have to knit myself a friend to keep me company. This cute little tan bear to hang out with me while I knit. So, I also am visually impaired. I'm legally blind. I'm completely colorblind. I have to knit and crochet primarily by feel. And I still love it. Do I knit and crochet as fast as other people who do it with their eyes? No. Probably not. I'll probably never be as fast as them. But I still enjoy it. It still brings me joy every day. It still brings me purpose and meaning. And I want this to be a place where people who are experiencing visual issues or other health and disability issues can come and learn how we can be creative and sort of how we adapt to life in general with visual issues. That's the intent of this channel. I have been knitting, and I hear people sometimes say, oh, I used to love to knit, but I gave it up because I can't see anymore. I've heard other people say, Oh, well, I still love to crochet, but I don't crochet with black anymore because I can't see it. And I'm like, really? You're just not going to crochet with black? I can't see it either. And I crochet with black. So, let me tell you a little bit about my visual condition. I was born with a condition called optic nerve hypoplasia. I know, most of you haven't heard of that before. That's okay. I'm going to try and explain it to you as the best that I can without totally nerding out and with all the neuroanatomy details, because I know that's not what a lot of you are here for, but I just want you to understand a little bit about my perspective in the world, what I'm working with, and also just creating a space where we can try to understand visual impairments and disabilities better. I want this to be a channel for people who are blind, who are visually impaired, legally blind, disabled due to a sensory deficit, mobility deficit, age-related condition, any kind of health condition that's impairing you from doing and being creative or getting joy in life. And I want this to be a place also for knitters, crafters, crocheters, artists of any type. Let's create a community here together. So, I have optic nerve hypoplasia. What does that mean? Well, optic nerve, we have nerves in our body, in our brain, and in our spinal cord, and they basically function as the wires in our body. They transmit information from parts of our body to our brain and from our brain to other parts of the body. So the optic nerve would be the one that transmits visual information. It goes from our eyes to the very back of our head to what's called our occipital cortex, where we process visual information. A lot of people think that we see with our eyes. And well, we kind of do, but not really. Our eyes are like a source of data input. Our eyes take the information in from the environment, and then it goes zipping down at lightning speed down our optic nerve to the back of our brain, where our brain makes sense and meaning out of it. Our brain says, oh, that's a chair. That's a yellow house. That's where you live. That's a red car. That's your husband's red car. Get into that car. Or that's a red car, but that is not your husband sitting in that one. Do not get into that one. That's all that information is being processed in our brain and makes sense out of what we're seeing. So, my optic nerve stopped developing before I was born. I have a very, very primitive visual system. Within our eyes, we have two types of receptor cells. We have cones for color, for detail, for daylight, and we have rods, which is our night vision system, where you might see shapes and shadows and movement. Have you ever been sitting in the dark and then suddenly someone turns on the light and you're like, because it's painful for a few seconds? That's because your eyes have to shift from seeing with your rods to your cones. They have to shift back to your daylight system. Well, my eyes can never do that. I always have that painful burning sensation that you get when somebody turns on the bright lights. That never goes away from me. So I have headaches, migraines. I try to keep my eyes closed often because light is uncomfortable for me. In the sunlight, I am totally blind. And my visual condition varies from day to day, hour to hour, room by room, depending on the amount of the light in the environment. So I try to keep the light minimal in my world, and that certainly helps. I can still see some. I have adapted to using a variety of technological aids. Sometimes I use zoom and magnification. I can still read large print for very short periods of time. Again, it's hard to keep my eyes open to read because it's painful, but I do still do it. I'll zoom it in, max it out to like 30 magnification time. I can still read a smaller print for very short periods of time before it's too painful for me. But I also use things like screen readers for any type of in-depth long reading period. I listen to audiobooks and use screen readers for my phone reads out information to me, and I use a lot of speech recognition, speech input where I speak to my devices, and of course speech output where my devices talk to me. So I don't think I want to give people too much more information except that I am totally colorblind. I've never seen color. a day in my life. Like I believe that this crochet beanie that I made is pinks and purples. I had to text a picture of it to my sister and ask her, what color is this? Because I couldn't remember. So I often have to text pictures to my mom and my sister and get a little color consult. So I have never seen color, but I still love to knit and crochet. I sometimes have to get them to consult with my projects, send them pictures of yarn. Does this go with this? I send them pictures of my clothing. I've never seen color. Also, I was born cross-eyed. That's called strabismus. I have had 3 eye surgeries to help with that, but I don't have the same visual acuity in my eyes. One sees quite a bit closer, one seems further away. I don't have depth perception. So my eyes don't work together, and when I try to see together, things just don't work. So I usually try to see with one eye or the other at a time. One for further distance, one for close-up distance. I also was born with a condition called nystagmus. It basically means that my eyes just kind of bobble around in my head. I have nystagmus, rotational, vertical, horizontal, so I really can't see straight, and I have no control over my eye movement, so it can be very difficult for me to focus and try to read a pattern. Even when I've worked out the lighting and changed the contrast on my screen, I still don't have control over my eyes. So I do tell people I come with a bonus. I can't actually roll my eyes at you because I can't control them. Of course, they're often rolling around in my head. So, anyways, I think that's probably enough information about my visual condition, about my love of yarn. I want to create a space where we talk about how we adapt knitting and crocheting and crafting and creativity for people with disabilities. I really want to hear from other people who knit, who crochet, who craft, who sew, who woodwork, whatever you're doing out there to be creative. How are you adapting it? How are you not? What are you struggling with? Let's see if other people can help other people here. So I just want to say thank you so much for stopping by today and spending a little bit of your day with me. If you like this video, please feel free to leave me a comment in the comment section. Please hit the like button. Use the comment section just to say hi, where you're watching from. If you have questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. I just might answer them. I might also tell you that's none of your business. But if you have topics that you'd like me to cover, questions for me, leave them there. We'll see if we can't start a discussion and conversation. So, I'm open to feedback. That's how we learn and grow as people. So, if you want to offer me feedback, please feel free to do that, whether you're engaging with myself or somebody else in the comment section. Though, please remember to treat everybody with the same respect that you'd want to be treated with. Well, we are overwhelmed with content today. I know that there's so much out there that you could be doing with your time. You could be watching your satellite TV. You could be streaming something on the Netflix, on the Amazon. You could be rocking out to your favorite tunes, listening to an audio book. There's so many things you can do with your time right here on YouTube alone. There are thousands of independent creators. So much talent out there. Your time is valuable. Thank you so much for dropping by and spending a little bit of your day with me. So whether you're crafting is knitting, sewing, creating, crocheting, painting, writing, singing, dancing, beading, whatever it is, it's a great day to be crafty and creative. Thank you so much and have a great day. Okay, Google, stop recording.